Good morning, everyone. Sick and tired here, and today we will be reading a viewer submission. She will be talking about how her mom actually forced her to lose her son. Before we jump in, though, I wanted to do something a little different. I thought with viewer submissions, we would start having a clip of the day. I don't know why, just because I wanted to. Kind of just ease us into it a little bit.
I just found out that my boyfriend made a pros and cons list of dating me, and the cons were I had a traumatic childhood, and I don't have a family, because he wanted me to have a sister or mother that could help take care of our children one day.
I mean, I guess that sounds nice, like he wanted her to have family to help her take care of the kids. But hearing from somebody you love that you have a traumatic childhood is a con when well, we know. It feels a little icky to say somebody having a bad childhood is it's a con. And now I'm going to have to really think about a relationship because now we can't have the picture perfect one that I wanted. Me, the one that didn't suffer in childhood. Okay, well, now that we're all nice and fired up, grab your drinks, grab your water, your coffee, your tea, your tequila, and get nice and comfortable. Hey girl, hey! I came across your channel a few weeks ago. I was hooked from the first episode I watched because mainly I have spent my 45 years on this planet feeling like no one could understand me and the reason I refuse to have any contact with my mother. Like you said in your show, I keep getting the usual,
"Why don't you reach out to your mom? People change."
oh, bullshit. Or my favorite reply to me saying that my mother genuinely hates me.
"She is your mom. She couldn't hate you. You are being dramatic."
So, needless to say, I never felt like I could talk to anyone about what I go through with her. But you seem to know all too well what I feel when it comes to my mother. Actually, there are many women who have had the same experience growing up as I did. Yes, way too many. So here's my story. I am sure my mother is a narcissist, but I'm also sure that the majority of my mother's hatred towards me has a lot to do with the fact that deep down, she was ashamed of me because I'm biracial and my mother is a racist. Yeah, I've heard it before. How could she be racist? And she chose to have me. Well, she has told me herself that she dated my father in high school to piss her parents off. I have actually come across this in real life. I know two people personally. They were both white ladies and they only dated black guys. And I didn't think anything of it. I prefer to date Asians. That's just what my preference is. And it's not for any reason other than that's just what I'm attracted to. But they would tell me the only reason they dated black guys was to piss off their parents. And it just would make me upset. Shouldn't you be dating somebody because you care about them? Who cares what your parents think? And they were grown women too, like grown women. And I'm like, it just seems so stupid. And when she got pregnant with me, she seen it as the ticket out of her parents' house. Since my granddaddy was a Southern Baptist preacher, an unwed teen pregnancy was never going to be accepted. And for a few years after I was born, my mother doted over me. But the relationship between my bio parents fell apart, and then she met my stepfather. And by the time I was 3, she was remarried and about to give birth to my little sister. That is when my whole life fell down around me, because as soon as my sister arrived, I was cast aside, not even exaggerating. She no longer had any interest at all for me. Actually, she couldn't be bothered with me. She became cold and mean to me. She never wanted to hug or kiss me anymore. She didn't do things with me anymore. And when I would try to help with the baby, she would act like I was a stranger. As I got older, I naturally began to assume the role of the bad kid because it was the only role that made my mom react to me. I don't know the real reason she didn't want me anymore, but she made it obvious that she didn't want me around her. Some people have said that a lot of narcissistic parents, a lot of narcissistic moms, they love having babies, but not children. After my sister was born, I got to see my mom love her. My sister got everything from my mom. I got called a whore at age 7. My God. For everything I did, and half the shit my sister did because, it was my responsibility to stop her as I was older and I knew better. When she wasn't doing that, she was dumping me off at one relative's house or another. That brings me to when I was 12 and had a full mental breakdown and tried to unalive myself with a brand new bottle of mini thins, and that landed me in a mental institution off and on for 2 years. What are mini thins? That must be a diet pill. I've never heard of. And I grew up in diet culture really big time, so I'm surprised I haven't heard of that. I still remember when my mom found out what I did and she decided to coach me on how to do it right next time and take her sleeping pills. She even showed me where she kept them. When I started her reaction was to tell me not to go across the vein, but to cut it lengthwise so that it couldn't be fixed. I would assume that this should get your kids taken away from you, right? Who says this to their children? And you're in and out of mental health institutions, so your mom knows you're struggling. And this is how she reacts? I'm surprised, but I'm not. I'm always like kind of surprised at what I hear that your guys' parents have done. Sometimes I feel like I'm numb to it, and I wonder if you guys think like, well, that wasn't the type of reaction you should have. Well, I grew up in a very physically, sexually, and mentally abusive household. So when I hear some stuff, it probably just is like, oh yeah, no, I get it. But I hear other things like this too, and I'm just like, I can't even believe what I'm reading. But at the same time, I can. Does that make sense? Did that make any sense? I felt like none of that made sense. She told me a lot as a teen that she hated me and wished I was never born. But that is only the tip of this fucked up iceberg. By the time I was 15, I was a mother myself. My son is half black, a quarter Japanese, and a quarter white. I'm Japanese and white. Oh. I hadn't even made it to this earth yet before she called him a wow. Okay, crowned me a whore. Well, in her words, my God, her mom is very racist and not nice. And was trying to make me abort him or give him up. When none of that worked, she prophesied that I would be a failure as a parent because I'm too stupid to raise a child. As if I hadn't raised hers already. Yeah, the few times I was permitted to live at home, I am convinced that it was only because she wanted free childcare and housekeeper. Okay, so your mom kicked you out, but you still came and had to do the stuff that she wouldn't do for her kids, I'm assuming. When I was 14, I was allowed to come home. But as soon as I got there, I realized why I was brought home. I was not allowed to go to school. My mother bought some mail order classes, none of which I needed. I was taking psychology and sociology and English lit, nothing I actually needed, like math or social studies or anything that a 7th grader should be taking. But that is because she didn't care if I went to school or not. My place in the house was to clean, cook, and take care of my sister. So when I got pregnant, she tried her best to stop it from happening. I think it is kind of just jumping around. I gave birth and was a great parent. I love my son, and the love I felt for him made me even more curious about why my own mother hated me so much. Anyway, when my son was 6 months old, my mother decided that since I wouldn't give him up and I was still a minor, she decided to take him from me, which she did. She proceeded to run from me for 2 years, just long enough to claim abandonment. Okay, you probably were living with the father of your child. Your boyfriend, was he in school too? So she just took him for 2 years. And did you guys try to find him? Did the police get involved? Did they even care? Because they were probably thinking like, well, it's the grandma. She gave my son to CPS and waited 3 months to tell me. This bitch called me on Mother's Day to tell me my son was in foster care. She succeeded in getting rid of my child. After that, she acted like she loved him so much, she even went as far as to create a shrine to him in her living room. On my 27th birthday, she invited me to her house under the guise of celebrating my birthday. And dumbass me fell for it. And I soon found out that she invited me over to rub my son in my face. She began by showing me videos of things I missed, like his first steps and his first birthday, his first word, everything I missed because of her. I'm assuming that's a typo and you meant your 17th birthday, right? Guys, I'm getting confused. Please tell me I'm not the only one confused. If you had your son when you were 15, and then it took like 2.5 years. Your mom left for 2 years. And then I'm assuming that's a typo and you meant your 17th birthday? I couldn't fight back the tears, my heart shredding in my chest. And instead of comforting me or having 1 ounce of decency, I looked over at her to ask her to turn off the video, and this evil demon was fucking smiling. She was enjoying watching me crumble under the pain of not having my little boy. I have many more instances like that one. I came to peace with the fact my mother died in 1983, and this person in front of me was not my mother. Something that's very common. A lot of people do mourn their parents, parents like ours, when they're still alive, but it's kind of us just having to come to terms with the fact that we didn't really have parents and mourning the parent that we wish we had, if that makes sense. The kicker to all this is that my son was my only shot at being a mom. I was never able to get pregnant again due to my inverted uterus. She has single-handedly torn down anything in my life that brought me happiness. To this day, she can't be in the room with me without trying to make me go off on her so she can play the victim and tell everyone that I'm still the problem. I have come a long way though. I was finally properly diagnosed with autism and CPTSD. I mourn the death of my mom. She's not dead, just dead to me. And I came to peace with the fact that at 45, I have no one I am related to. I am today, as I have been my whole life, completely alone. Did you ever try to get your son back in your life or make contact with him? I don't know what the details, like, was his name changed so you can't find him? I would hope that now you'd be able to explain to him like what happened and that you two could have a relationship. Some days it weighs on my soul, but most days I feel peace. I may be in this world alone, but at least no one is actively trying to ruin my life. There is so much more I could share, but I will let you go now. That is enough trauma dumping for now. Don't use that word. I hate that. I hate it so bad. Never say trauma dumping on this channel or too much of it. That is literally what I'm here for. Sorry, by the way, autism. Thank you for letting me share, even though this whole thing probably didn't make any sense. It's hard for me to tell my story in a straight line. It's always all over the place. Oh, okay. I was trying to piece it together. No, I get it. I do that too when I'm talking about things. I jump all over because I feel like I have so much in my mind. I'm trying to get it all out at one time. And then it probably just sounds like, what are you trying to say, lady? It's always all over the place. So much has happened that sometimes it's hard to remember everything. I blocked out a lot, and the other stuff is not filed in my mind in chronological order. If you have any questions, I would be glad to clear it up. I think I had many questions, but you don't have to answer them. You can tell me to just be quiet. Anywho, again, thank you so much for just being there. For girls like me means the world. Till next time, blessed be. Oh, thank you so much for your kind words. It always makes me feel good when I hear you guys tell me like how happy you are that I've done this, but I don't feel like I'm just doing it. It's like us, we're doing it, Thank you so much for being a part of my life too. And I'm going to stop now before I make myself cry. Yeah, if you would like to update us, maybe just the only thing I'm wondering is, I'm wondering a lot. I'm wondering when exactly you got kicked out or you stopped living at home. I'm curious about the father of your child. How involved was he with trying to get your son back and kind of what was going on there? His family, were they involved trying to help you guys get your son back? Or were they like your mom, like, you guys shouldn't be having kids, so we don't care? And then just if you were able to ever talk to your son again and get back in contact with him. We would desperately like to know. So that is all for today. Don't forget to make your guys' voices heard down below. I love you guys. Until next time, I hope your magic is strong. I hope your symptoms are low. Blessed be.